Hello, my name is Joke Sanusi. I'm an RN, BSN, and I have MSN in Psychiatry Mental Health. And today I'm going to be talking about abuse. What is abuse? Abuse is a mistreatment by one individual that causes harm to another person. And it also can be a group of people that take advantage of the other person and they cause harm to that person. Abuse can also be a situation in which a person is treated in a way that is harmful to them. And there are different types of abuse. We have sexual abuse, we have financial abuse, we have psychological abuse or emotional abuse, we have neglect, we have isolation, we have physical abuse. Today, I'm going to be talking about sexual abuse. What is sexual abuse? Sexual abuse is an unwanted activity with perpetrators using force, making threats, or taking advantage of victims not able to give consent. Sexual abuse are any sexual activity that occurs without consent. We also refer to them as sexual assault, sexual violence, which include unwanted touching, forced oral sex, and rape, among other sexual acts. Effect of abuse on the one that was abused. At first, the person will be shocked, like, what just happened, Then they will be afraid of the person that abused them. Suddenly, you just see this person is not afraid of this person because of the harm they have done to them. And also they will be like, oh, I can't believe this happens to me. And sometimes it causes them to be ashamed of themselves. They will be saying that, oh, maybe it's because I did something, that's why they did that to me. Sometimes they blame themselves because of what happened to them. And it shouldn't be that way. And most of the time, the people that causes this abuse are family, friends, family, like uncles, brothers, even some fathers have abused their children. You can't be so specific. Abuse can come in any way. It can be from the father to the child. It can happen to anyone at any age. It can be anybody. So we cannot limit who can be abused or who can abuse somebody. So we have to have open mind on abuse. And eventually, this person that is being abused will start having a lot of issue. They'll be having some physical and emotional issue. They can start having anxiety, and some of them will even have post-traumatic stress disorder because, each time they remember it, they just, they start getting afraid, and some of them will go into depression. Some of them will be ashamed of who they are. Like, you know what? That they are not good anymore because of what happens to them. And the thing is, they are not even the cause of this. They didn't cause it to themselves. But unfortunately, they cannot help the situation. So we need to be very vigilant about making sure that we keep an eye on our children, especially our young girls. And as I said earlier, abuse can happen to anyone. It can happen to girls, it can happen to boys, it can happen to women, it can happen to men. There is no limit to who abuse, can happen to. When somebody is abused, how can we help this kind of people? So the way we are supposed to help this kind of people is by allowing them to go to therapy. Therapy is the main thing that can help them to change the damage that the abuse has done to them. Kind of like rewiring their brain kind of stuff. So they need to, as soon as you are aware of somebody's been abused, you need to get that person quickly first to the doctor so they can assess the person, making sure that everything is okay with that person. The person doesn't have any physical trauma. So after that, then that person needs to go to a therapist so they can kind of work with that person, so they can take away all this fear and all this anxiety, take it away from that person. And also, how do we prevent abuse? To be very vigilant in our home, in our environment, we'll be able to prevent abuse in most cases. So for instance, we need to provide an environment for our children where, you know, we don't allow somebody to just come into our house and be so free, taking our children to the closet, taking our children to the room, taking our children to toilet, whenever we have a visitor in our house, we need to make sure that we are able to, you know, keep an eye on our children. Anywhere with a stranger, even a family member. For instance, a uncle comes in to visit you and you have a girl in the house. Make sure you are able to see your girl at all times. You don't want that girl to go away from where you can see that. When you have a visitor, make sure you are able to visualize that person. Don't let that child, that boy, that girl be out of your sight. Make sure you're able to keep an eye on them. And also what else? So by educating ourselves, educating our children, telling your children, don't allow strangers to touch you. If any stranger want to touch you, it doesn't even have to be stranger. If an older person, you know, touch you inappropriately, touching you, you know, you need to scream, shout, tell somebody about it. And also we need to give our children the okay to come talk to us if something like that happens to them, to come to us freely without the fear of, oh, if I tell my mom or my dad, they're not going to listen to me. And also we need to start advocating for abuse. We need to start advocating. We need to talk about it. We should be talking about it. Even in churches and in mosques, people should be talking about it. You know, let all of us start talking about it, so everybody is aware of what is going on in our community. Everywhere, even when pastor preach, they should talk about it. When they talk in the mosque, they should talk about it. In schools, I think they should be bringing it up too, so that they are giving all these children the education they need to be able to perceive it when it's coming, and they can run. So we need to enlighten our children. And also, sexual abuse is not limited to penetration. When somebody touches your child inappropriately, when somebody even, bringing their private, opening their private something out in the presence of your child is considered sexual abuse. And if somebody is watching your child and getting satisfaction from it, it's also an abuse. So there are different ways in committing sexual abuse. So we need to be very vigilant. Even as parents, you're not supposed to be around your children and be doing anything inappropriate, such as, sex, where your children can even see you. You need to make sure wherever you're doing that needs to be, you need to hide yourself away from the children, who don't have the opportunity to be able to live in a separate room from their children. You need to be very careful. The children shouldn't be seeing you doing anything of that such. If they see you, you're also committing sexual abuse. So we need to enlighten our community. We need to enlighten our children. We need to educate everyone about abuse. Abuse can happen to anyone. It can happen anywhere. I am urging everybody to be very vigilant, especially when you have young children, to be vigilant and make sure nobody, is taking advantage of those children, because it has a lot of psychological effects on these children. And as soon as you find out that somebody has been abused, I urge you to take them to therapy ASAP. And I hope I'm able to enlighten somebody today. If so, please like and share my video. Thank you. Bye.